the Honourable Leader of the House, Honourable Gerry Brownlee. Order.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave for the provisions of the local government, all of the provisions of the local government Auckland Law Reform Bill, to be taken as one question, for members to have unlimited calls of 5 minutes each, and for the question on the bill and any amendments proposed thereto to be taken at the conclusion of the debate, and for the motion to be divided, to divide the bill to be put without further debate.
Leave is sought for that course of action. Is there any objection? There is no objection. I call on Government Order of the Day number 1.
Appropriation 2010-11 Estimates Bill. Adjourned debate on second reading and amendment proposed thereto.
The Honourable Pansy Wong.
Mr. Speaker, this morning I was at the Wellington Fathers Breakfast with 280 fathers to celebrate families and the important role of fathers. I went there to show that as Minister of Women's Affairs that women support men and vice versa, and families are important. This is what the Finance Minister has in mind when he construct and put together the 2010 budget, a budget for the family and future generations. Well done and congratulations to our Minister of Finance, Honourable Bill English, for delivering a budget for the many, not for the few. A budget that rewards hard work. 70% of income earners will face...
I apologise to the Honourable Minister and just ask members leaving the chamber, please, if they're going to have discussions, please have them outside. The noise in the chamber then was just so discourteous to a member speaking. I apologise to the Honourable Pansy Wong. Please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A budget that rewards hard work. 73% of income earners will face an income tax rate at 17.5% or less. 2/3 of the tax cut in the budget apply to people on income below $48,000. And compensation will be made to the superannuitant working for families recipients to compensate them for the 2.02% GST increase. A budget that strengthens our economy. $321 million will be invested over 4 years in research, innovation and commercialization. Investment in ultra-fast broadband, kiwi, rail and transport infrastructure would continue. So what has been the response from the Labour opposition towards this well-thought-out budget? Well, the answer is Honourable Pete Hodgson. He's on a daily mission on taxpayer-funded time to apparently Google daily on our Prime Minister, a self-made successful Prime Minister who was brought up by a solo mother in a state house, and self-made successful man who gave up his overseas business and come back to New Zealand because he wants to ensure that younger generation of New Zealanders would have the same opportunity. Well, actually, the response apart. So, if the answer from the Labour opposition to the national-led government's budget is Honourable Pete Hodgson, the question beckons: who else is there who can actually lead a debate? Well, until today, before Honourable David Cunliffe, who believes himself is the most competent member of the Labour bench, raise and ask a question, somebody might believe that he might be the answer for Labour. Except today he showed himself up. He assumed that on a tax calculator that was set up to facilitate individuals to check out what is their net income position after the tax cut. Well, he actually saw say, well, the inflation, cost rises would have to be factored in that tax calculator, but absolutely refuse to accept that New Zealanders might earn more. The competition might bring the price down. So here is a one-eyed Labour finance spokesman. Well, who else is there? I mean, some might ask, what happened to the invisible Honourable Phil Goff, the Labour leader of the opposition? Well, actually, most New Zealanders might have forgotten by now, a week before the real budget, Honourable Phil Goff actually delivered an alternative budget. In the budget, he actually saw, in the Labour alternative budget, he delivered, we begged the question, would he reverse the tax cut? Well, the answer he gave was maybe. Would he reverse the GST increase? The answer apparently was maybe. Would he exempt the so-called healthy food from GST regime? The answer was maybe. Well, maybe would he be the leader of opposition by election time next year? Who knows? New Zealanders actually breathe a sign of relief that our Prime Minister backs the Finance Minister in the delivery of a budget that contains no maybe. It's actually lay out a clear path for a brighter future for our country. Everyone in the town hall this morning was very impressed by the 5 speakers, including our Prime Minister. I think I will just give a snapshot of one of the incidents that the Prime Minister relate to the 280 fathers there to show his style of being a father. He talked about turning down the photo opportunity to open the baseball match where his son was competing because he said the day belonged to Max, his son. So here's the father, our Prime Minister, is happy and content to be sitting on the side, watching and cheering as the father rather than be the Prime Minister, and he's backing his son, and he's not just backing his own children, he's backing the younger generation of New Zealand. Because we all know individual well-beings actually was quite interesting, Mr. Speaker. Every time when we talk about our popular Prime Minister, it just upset the Labour so much. Well, get over it. He happens to be a successful man, generous, have a sunny personality, and it's just fantastic. He is the leader of our country. And Honourable Clayton Coswell has just so little to say when he faced up to our capable Police Minister, Honourable Judith Collins. Next time, that member might want to speak up when he asks any proper question to our Police Minister. But, Mr. Speaker, we know that individual well-beings are enhanced, surrounded by strong families. Cohesive communities are also enhanced by strong families. Strong families and communities led to harmonious and peaceful society. We need to support our families. And our families in New Zealand actually care for each other. So I want to acknowledge that some of our families in the communities face more challenges than others. And therefore, as the Minister of Disability Issue, I want to acknowledge the courage, the self-reliant spirit of our disability communities and their families. The motto of our disability communities is nothing about us without us. I was so proud to take part in the New Zealand Sign Language Week, organized by Deaf Aotearoa Foundation. And it is also humbling to attend the Royal New Zealand Foundation for the Blind's fundraising appeal for the digital talking library. And one of their wishes are to feel included, respected, and having